This podcast is aimed at the veteran community. It hopes to recreate a conversation taking place in any naffy anywhere in the world right now. We want to combat social isolation by letting veterans feel part of this conversation. If you're easily offended, please switch off now. And if you want to see more, please subscribe to this channel and be part of the community.
Hello everyone and welcome to Veterans in Crisis podcast. Today we have Jamie Phenny. Jamie is 4 para and he's just come back from a tour of duty. Welcome, Jamie. You all right?
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
No, thanks for coming in, mate. Thanks for coming in. We tried loads of other good people, but no one would come on, so I just got you, like, say it was all right.
So you've been left at the bottom of the barrel now.
It's scraping, mate. Scraping, tell you. Thanks for having a haircut anyway, mate.
Yeah.
For coming in.
For
you
the
look all
occasion.
nice and smart. It's good, Joe. I tell you, it was going to be on camera as well, didn't you? So you didn't think it was just radio. I didn't know what's happening because Joe's had a haircut as well. 2 haircuts today. So where do you get your haircut, man? Do you want to publicise it?
Fat Boy Trims in Pennywell.
I tell you what, I was there. I'm not in there, but I was next door there to a lad who's got Premier Nutrition.
Oh, aye.
Dean, he's opening a massage place for sports injuries and stuff. And I went up to have a crack with him, got a hoodie, and he was saying like he would give discount to the veterans.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So that was right next door. And when I was waiting outside, I was thinking, I wonder what Fat Boy Trims is.
It's pretty good.
There's 2, but you see it's pretty good, mate.
I don't know
the proof's in the
like.
pudding, like, to be honest. I stood outside for a while thinking, I wonder what the fuck it is, because I didn't have my glasses on. I couldn't see inside.
Aye.
So that's all it is.
I've been quite busy apparently.
Have you had out from that Premier Nutrition?
I haven't yet.
Fucking
Not yet.
lovely,
I've seen lots of people sharing the stuff, and a lot of my friends who I go to the gym with get food from there and stuff as well.
It's really, really, really good gear. Like the when I did the Great North Run, my only training was Beck's Blue and their food for 2 weeks. See, I missed out the running.
You went for the non-alcoholic beer, so
non-alcoholic beer and healthy Premier Nutrition food.
At least you weren't waking up with a hangover.
I felt like a hangover after I'd ran it, mate. I tell you, you've run it in there full kit, haven't you?
I ran it once and I'd done no training for it, and I was like a zombie the way I was walking back to the metro because the cramp had set him back. But when I tabbed it, there was me and my mate Tom Curry, who was ex-3 para, he's a 4 para now, and me and him tabbed and we raced each other, and it was alright. It was a pretty good day.
How quick did you do it in then? Because I honestly I didn't do any training and it killed us like it did. After 9 mile I was just
I got the 10 mile pace in P company timings, and that was my main objective. Once I got that 10 mile done,
you banging on the table like I tell you not, eh?
Once I got the 10 mile done in an hour 45, I think we get for P company, I got done in that an hour 50, and so I was happy with that. And then the last 3 miles I just plodded because I was in rag.
That's really good, isn't it? 10 miles. Jesus Christ, what would £30 as well?
£35 plus water. About
so knee water. Just getting at the side of the road and sweets.
You like that drinking, hoping that your Bergen will get light as you're going round.
I just seen it. I seen quite a few people running with Bergens on, and I was thinking, because I was in shit state by the end, like, and I was thinking, fucking God knows how they're doing that. Like.
I seen an older bloke. He must have been in his 50s, and he had a reg top on. He was doing it with a mortar barrel on his shoulders.
I seen him. Fucking comes in front of us. Only for a bit till I tripped him up.
Push him off the road. Get the reg
I was thinking, is that really? Is it a real one? You know, as he just showing off like.
He'd be like that. Them bloody reg blokes.
So mate, we normally start off with school or growing up basically in from Sunderland, are you?
Pennywell,
aye. What was it like being a kid in Pennywell? Well, an hour fucking Pennywell, like.
Fantastic. Like, I tell you what, absolutely glorious childhood.
Aye.
Up to mischief every now and then, like, but it was just like the lads on the estate. It was class. The banter was class. Always playing footy or wheeling on our bikes or building dens up in the trees and that, or we'd knock around the shops playing footy and using the shutters as goals.
Some makes loads of noise when you score.
At times we got chased off the security, I lost count. But it was fantastic. I love Pennywell. Like,
are your family still up there?
My dad is. My mum's living in Tunstall now. My mum's been down there a few months, about 6 months a year. But I'm still at Pennywell all the time. I drink in the comrades and that as well.
Oh, yeah.
Aye.
You getting the gunners and all, aren't you?
Aye, all the time. I'm like a piece of furniture in there now.
It's funny because Alex always says when you're coming in, doesn't he? He always says when you come in to the coffee morning the other day, we say, hey, straight away.
I'm never out there.
It's alcohol problem, man. I can help you with that, you know.
Well, since I've come back, it seems like the only position I've known is like standing like that.
Well, say this one's non-alcoholic though, isn't it?
See, healthy, especially when I've got to be up for Manchester in the morning.
Well, what are you doing there in Manchester?
Hacienda gig.
Oh, nice
so
one.
That'll be decent.
So where's that at?
It's called the Concourse. My mate was saying it's where they do the warehouse project thing, and they've got a big warehouse and a little one.
Aye.
And we're in the little one. It's Graham Park, and that I used to DJ.
DJ, aye. So is it like the orchestral one?
No, it's like it's just going to be, rather than the orchestra, it's going to be a proper DJ set.
All right.
It should be quite good. I think there's about 4 different DJs on. It starts at 9:30 in the night and finishes at 4:30 in the morning.
Aye. So have you bothered getting a hotel or not?
We have, not that we're gonna need it. Like,
oh, yeah, no. Well, you'd be get kicked out straight away, wouldn't you, by the time you get back? There's somewhere to leave your gear, isn't it?
Aye, somewhere to have
Your
a
clothes.
shower. That's it.
Clothes.
Like, have a shower when I get down and then ditch me kid.
So when you were growing up in Phenny, well, did you want to join the forces?
When I was young, it was always different things. One week I'd have a police hat on. The next, cut. The next week I'd have a firefighter's hat on or whatever, and then one day I'd want to be a soldier. But I think
you shouldn't be hanging around with all these people from the fucking emergency services, mate.
No,
they weren't sitting you on the knee, were they?
No.
Letting you put your hat on.
There was nothing dodgy going on. But I think probably from being about somewhere between 12 and 14, I had a pretty good idea that the army was where I'd probably end up.
I think the majority of people I've had in here have said the same thing. You just get to a stage where you think, that's gonna be me. Like I was about 7, like I think.
I'm not very clever upstairs, so doing an office job or something like that would never be for me. I was always outdoors. The amount of times I was always living in mud, so there was only one way I was probably gonna go.
Well, I mean, you do things that you want to enjoy, didn't you? You know, there's no point in getting it. I mean, I wasn't very academic at school, so I didn't really like school.
Yeah.
You know, I liked the cracking and playing about and that, but like the lessons and that wasn't for me. So, and I think a lot of people who join the army are like that. You know, you it's nice to have a job that you enjoy.
Oh, it's spot
you know. So, you were in Pennywell Infants, what is it called?
No, I went to St Anne's.
St Anne's? No, not last of school.
I went there and then I went to St Aidan's after that.
All right. So how old are you?
28.
So in St Aidan's, because it's all boys school, isn't it?
Yeah.
So was there many lads there joining up like?
I know of a few lads, or a couple of lads in my year that went in the army. I've known Anthony Nutton through school.
Well, yeah.
Obviously, he joined.
He's done this podcast as well, so all famous people.
I watched it. It was a very good podcast.
He was pissed. We picked him up.
We dragged him out of a party, didn't
we picked him up on the pub, right? And then he started talking, and I was thinking, was that a good idea, picking him up on the pub?
You nasty bugger, dragging him out of the pub.
It was brilliant. It was brilliant. You know, he'd had to cancel a couple of times before.
Yeah.
So when he said, "Oh, it's the party," and I was like, "Oh, it doesn't matter." And he was like, "No, I'm gonna do it because I've cancelled a couple of times." And he turned up pissed.
Spot on.
Got it done.
And
then I took him back to the pub. You know what I mean? So he's only missing for an hour and a half. Absolutely ideal, man. Absolutely ideal.
Brilliant.
So when school, you not very academic, no?
No, I mean, I did okay in terms of I was there and I never skived off, but my GCSEs weren't much to shout about.
No.
But I went to college after that, and I'd done joinery because I was quite good with my hands, but didn't really enjoy being on the building sites. And when I got to 18, I was like, straight in the careers office down the town. Said I want to join the infantry, so they gave us a few different bits of paperwork on different regiments and stuff like that. And I bumped into my mate, Colin Cuthbertson, and he was in the town, and he was at Harrogate at the time as a para-reg Joe. And he went, "Oh, are you joining?" And I was like, "Oh, see, I don't really have an idea yet where I want to go. I've got some bits of paperwork and I've been having a read. He's like, oh, why don't you join the Reg? And I was like, the Reg? Never heard much about them. So he's like, oh, have a look on YouTube, and that's how I had a look, and I was like, I don't particularly like heights, but it looks pretty good. So I thought...
Maybe you did like heights, being a parachute, it's not very good.
So I went down the careers office again the week later when I had my interview, and I was like, I want to join Para-Reg. So they were like, spot on, so that's what you want to do. And then, so I went and done selection in that, and then I went and done the Para-Reg assessment course, which is like another 3-day selection. But
so
like,
the selection you did, was that like, where was it?
Up at Glen Course.
All right.
So I done like...
Do only paras go there?
No, so it depends on the area, because we've got different ones around the country, like selection centres. So I went up there and you do like your 1.5 miles and you've done your press-ups, sit-ups, and you've done a team task and stuff like that. So I passed that. And then I had to go and do the parachute regiment assessment course, which is like a 3-day course down at Catterick, and you do the Trinasium climbing frame. You do like a 4-mile run, a 1.5 miles press-ups and sit-ups again, and the test your suitability. So I passed that, and then I got space in depot, and I was in training 2011, and I got a battalion 2012. Yeah.
If we're going back to training, or going back to the selection part, I can't remember, I went to somewhere down Birmingham, I can't remember what it was called now, it was outside of Birmingham. You do like the 2 or 3 days, like you say, the run and stuff.
Yeah.
So then you do a special paras one after that, aye?
Yeah, the parachute regiment run their own in-house selection course as well, so you might get through the first initial selection phase, but then they'll test you on their suitability, and they'll like have a look at your attitude and how well you perform and how well you take things in, and see if you're suitable for them.
How many, if you remember, how many of you went for that and how many passed?
I think there might have been about 15, 20 of us on that course at the time, for this 3-day course, the parachute regiment assessment course, and I can't remember how many of us got through. I think it was like half.
Right. I just asked because we had a guy called Steve on last week who did the Marines, and he did a kind of thing from the same type of thing, and I think he said 11 people, and then 3 of them got through, and that was just to get to go into training.
Yeah.
See, when I was in the light infantry, I went in the light infantry. I did that 3-day thing, you know. But I was taught in the P company and the Marines training. It's just fucking mental, absolutely mental. Like
it was the hardest 6 months of my life. I laugh about it now, but I didn't.
Because you're not doing it.
I used to wake up at like 5:30 in the morning. You'd look up at the ceiling, you'd be like, "What am I doing here? Like, why am I putting myself through this?"
Another day.
But you just chip away at it. It's just everyone's in the same boat, so you just got to suck it up, haven't you? You know what I mean?
So when you went, how long was it after you did your 3-day selection before you got in?
I think I had about a month or a month and a half.
That's not bad, like, is it?
It was quite quick. And to think the army was pretty much fully manned then at the time in 2011. So it wasn't like they weren't like scraping for blokes, you know what I mean? So the waiting lists sometimes were quite long, but I just seem to have got through, and they must have had another intake. And then we're like, yeah, we'll chuck you on that one.
And where did you have to come for your training?
Helly's Barracks.
Where's that?
Catterick. Aye.
Is that where the infantry... I don't know what's called.
It's the infantry battle school.
Aye.
Down there.
I went down there, right. Not to train, I just went down for Christmas dinner last year.
It's a good place. They've been doing loads of work down there at the minute. They've built a cinema and like a retail complex and everything. There wasn't really much down there when I first went. You had Tesco's and McDonald's, and that was it.
Well, Catterick's about the biggest in Europe, isn't it?
I think it's one of the biggest garrisons now outside of Germany. I mean, it's the redeveloping homes and everything down there, because there's that many soldiers in the area now, and I think some of them that are coming back from Germany, some of the camps are closing out there. I think some of them are actually coming to Catterick as well. So.
It's just going to get bigger and bigger, isn't it?
Bigger and bigger.
It'll not be in Carrick soon.
They'll be kicking people out of Richmond and flattening houses to build a training area.
That's all I was going to say. So when you were in your down at Carrick doing your training, did you settle straight in? I mean, because I was 16 when I joined, so now you're 20, did you say?
I was 19 when I got there. Settled in quite quick, but it was a proper culture shock. And, you know, like, I was there with some lads who were ranging from 17, and then there was lads who was in the 30s. So it was such a a broad spectrum of ages. So some of us really didn't have a clue about life, and some lads that'd been around the block a bit, do you know what I mean? And they were proper good lads. I mean, all of them were proper good lads. Really good.
So how does your training work now then? Do you do a certain amount of training there, then go to a para place?
So it's like a 28-week course. So phase 1 and phase 2 isn't really separated into two different things for us, like it is for other regiments. It's just the full course. That's just your combat infantryman's course. So it starts off, you do your admin phase, you learn how to admin yourself, and you...
Oh, we were talking about this. How to wash your cock.
Luckily I didn't have to stand and watch someone have a shower. But yeah, you learn how to do your basic admin, how to do your locker and stuff, and then you start going out and you start doing tabs, you do the assault courses and stuff, and then you do like one overnight stay in the field, learning how to put up a poncho and how to cook, and then you progress on to how to cam yourself, and then you progress on to section attacks and patrols, and then platoon attacks, and by the time you leave, you sort of got a basic idea of things.
Basic grasp of it.
It's not till you get a battalion, you join your unit, and you watch the lads who's got all this experience where you really learn how to soldier.
So when you left, did you have to go straight into P company?
You do P company on week 20, so it's part of the training course. So you do P company, and then you do your final exercise, which is 2 weeks, like one half's field, and then the other half's like a week-long live firing package. And then once you've done that, you find out what battalion you're going to, and then you get maybe it's like a week or 2 weeks leave, and then you go down to...
What was your hardest part of P company?
Stretcher race. It's the only event I came off. It was... I knew from doing... Because you do a beat-up course, so they put you through all the events that you're going to do on P company, and the stretcher just... It's awkward to carry. So like, if someone's a little bit taller, like bounces, and when it's ricocheting off your shoulder, it's horrendous.
We were talking about this the other day, like the stretcher and the log race, because obviously maybe in a dwarf, it just hadn't been at the front. You know what I mean? It was proper, it killed us. Like
the log, it was nails, but I found it easier than the stretcher. But some people say it's the other way around. Some people find the stretcher easier and the log harder. But
so do you have the stretcher on your shoulder all the time, or could you not put it down?
Nah, it's up on your shoulder. The log goes by your waist, but your arms got to be bent so they can see you're supporting the weight of the log, and you're not just jacking on the blokes. But the stretcher was...
So when we did the logs, that'd be on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Didn't have the handles on. And I'm saying I was at the front, so it was down like the fucking angle like that. You know what I mean? Not very comfortable at all. Like that was one of my worst things. That like the logs. But we didn't do a stretcher. No. Not to my knowledge anyway. I can't remember. But I don't think we did it. Like, but I remember watching the Paris program all that night. And I always get this wrong. Trinasium.
The Trinasium, the climbing frame.
No, I did that when I went to Aldershot. And I loved that, but I like stuff like that. I'm not scared of heights or now, you know what I mean?
The first time I went up it, and I went on the high shuffle bars, I was alright on the lower bit, but when I went on the high shuffle bars, they were like, stand by, go, and you start progressing across. Mate, I was nearly on my hands and knees, and they were like, get a grip of yourself, and I was like, I was shaking like a shitting dog. I was in clip. And then when I done it on P company, I was like, right, just get across it as quick as you can and just get it done. And I don't know why blokes worry, because 10 foot below you is like the platform, the wooden platform, but it's just because you're so high up, and you're looking across into the distance, and you're like, whoa, this is a bit, and if the wind picks up, you can feel it swaying, and you're like, oh no, this isn't nice.
Yeah, we went to somewhere up in Kielder, Calvert Trust, and I took some of the clients, and one of the fucking hell, it was brilliant. Like, it was like you had to climb up high ropes, all that, and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, he gets up, and I mean, you fasten on, do you know what I mean? And he gets up, and he was like, "I'm not going any further, right?" But obviously, the blokes just took the piss, you know what I mean? Gee, fucking better. He was going, "Nah, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just gonna stay." And we're like, "You can't stay there forever, you know? You gotta come down. You gotta have to come round anyway." He come round, and Joe was filming him. Honestly, he come down, right? He was shaking, right? It looked like something out of a Michael Jackson video, right? He's puking up. Right? It was mental, like, fucking mental. But everybody around was just laughing and videoing him and that. Not one person was gonna, you alright?
Someone else's misfortune.
You might as well, man. You know?
Like
But we just said to him after, you've done that. That was really hard. But next time something bad in your life, you've done that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It was a good learning curve for him. Like,
It's a test of character.
it was great. I'll have to show you the video sometime.
Oh,
It
brilliant.
was really funny. Like, we made that I don't know if you've ever seen it. We made a documentary. Joe made a documentary about us.
Alright.
First year of Vix. Followed us around for a year. Obviously not every day because he was working, but it was really good. We premiered at the Stadium of Light.
All right.
Alright, we showed it all around Sunderland, and there's going to be a showing soon at Sunderland University, so I'll let you know.
Aye,
Come and watch it,
yeah.
it's spot on.
Will do,
So, anyway, enough of me. Back to P Company. You finished P Company and then passing out parade.
Yeah, so past pay company done the final X and then passing out parade, yeah. So we've done like 2 weeks of drill. Yeah, like a space to do 2 weeks of drill before the pass out because Paras aren't exactly renowned for the drill. I don't think the infantry's really renowned for the drill. And we've done it in I'm sure it was August 2012 and it was absolutely red as.
Was it?
Absolutely red as. Seeing clip on that parade square in me twos and that, you sweating me tits off. But aye,
It's a proper good moment, though, isn't it?
well, they tell you not to smile, but you've grafted that hard for 6 months or whatever, and the drums were going, and you're behind where your family sit, and then you march onto the square, and you go around, and then when you finally halt and you're facing the stand where all your family's in that, or you're like looking out the corner of your eye trying to find where your family were, and then when we marched past and we gave the salute to the officer, and you march past your families at the same time, and they clocked me and I clocked them, and I was the smile on my face, and I was like, stop smiling.
It's brilliant though, isn't it? It is right. You hit the nail on the head there as you've put all that graft in, and you've seen from your platoon that was massive when you first started, first day. You've weeded out all them people that couldn't make it, and you feel proud of yourself because you've done it.
When you get tailored for your number twos towards the end of training, you're like, it's getting close, it's getting real.
Yeah, but then they pull the tie really tight. You're like, it shouldn't be that tight. Yes, it should. No, it shouldn't.
Our staff were mega. I remember the day of the pass-off parade. We're all lined up in the corridor, and there was a table full of port. And they're like, get a shot down you, Joe, before you go on the square. And one of the lads read out, what manner of men are these who wear the maroon barrier? She read out that poem, and then went downstairs, picked up our rifles and got lined up and marched around, and then done the parade, and then we had a few beers after, and it was a good day. Really good.
Did you
day.
go home with your parents after that, your family?
Aye. And then we had a party at the lakeside in Silky.
Aye.
Of what I can remember of it,
I was going to say
everyone was buying us port, and it started off in a small glass like that, and it was a half pint, and then it was a pint glass, and I had a pint of port, and I was like, I was steaming.
Pint of port, man, that's a lot that like.
Everyone was just getting us port.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought
do you still doing it now? Or does that put you off?
I love it. I don't know why I remotely thought it was a good idea at the time. Like.
I think I'm going to buy a bottle of port for an A actually.
It's a nice drink when you've got special occasions and stuff.
Well, podcast special occasion. So, what was your first posting then? What battalion did you get?
I went to one para.
Right.
Down in Wales.
Did you pick them? Or did they get picked for you?
Normally you would usually have a choice of where you want to go, but our whole platoon, apart from one person who went to box for 3 para, all of us went down to 1 para.
Is there still three paras?
So the 3 regular battalions, you've got 1, 2 and 3.
Still now?
Yeah.
Because like a lot of things get amalgamated, don't they?
Yeah, and then you've got 4 para of the reserves where I am now. So I'd done a couple of years in 1 para, but being a bit of a naughty boy at the football and...
Do you want to talk about it?
I'm not too...
I mean, this is how we met through football.
It is,
you know what I mean? So
the police captured us, and so I ended up in court, and I missed an Afghan tour in 2013 because I was still in court at the time, and court wouldn't change the date. So I ended up getting told off by the CO.
Told off? Chinese bird?
And he was like, it's not looking very good for you staying in, and I had to go and see a brigadier. And then he was like, it's not looking good. And then I went and seen, I think it was like a major general down at Aldershot, and he was like, there's nothing I can do for you now. He was like, can't go back on their decisions. So I was booted out in December 2014.
But you never went to jail, though, did you?
Nah.
You know, this is what always perplexed me. You never went to jail, so I don't see why. I mean,
the judge must have had a good sleep before he dealt with us, because we got suspended sentences.
But I mean, from the army, you know, they spent all that money training you. I mean, you're talking hundreds of thousands of pounds.
Aye.
And for one misdemeanor, which was a violent thing, which fair enough, but you're fucking a trained paratrooper. You know what I mean? Surely you should be commended for being violent, you know what I mean? They would be happy about it if you did it on the battlefield. Just so happens it was outside a pub in Sunderland.
I know.
You know?
I probably got shot in the foot. But, I was out for 2 years. That'd be a good boy, and then I went to 4 para. Joined 4 para.
So was that the crack? Like they just said, keep your nose clean for 2 years.
Yeah, and then I.
Were you banned for 2 years anyway? Weren't you? Three. You had no fucking choice to be care.
They lifted it early because I was going back in the army, so I appealed it and I got it lifted. And then just before I went away with 2 para, I got bloody done again down Coventry, didn't I? So I'm back on another ban.
It's just unlucky. It's being unlucky, mate. Your face is marked, mate. That's
that
it.
Was it.
You know what I mean?
They clocked me face and they were like, we know him.
Yeah, let's have him again. I mean, but it's bang out of order ruining your career. You know, I mean, obviously, I know we've spoke about it in the pub and whatever, and you're not that asked about it now. But I remember at the time, you were pretty fucking wounded about it, like, when we were talking about it.
Because I never thought I'd get a chance to go back in the army because, like I say, the army was fully manned back then. There was loads of people, but as I don't know what's happened. I mean, I knew I could come back at some point, but I didn't know if I'd get back in the paras, do you know what I mean? So that was, like, if I couldn't join the paras again,
you wouldn't have went back in there.
Joined anything. So when I got the chance to go back, I was like, as soon as I could, as early as I could, I reapplied and they were like, spot on, yeah. And then, I went to 4 para and living the dream.
So explain to the people that don't really understand reservists. Explain. So you're in the paras, but you work less, but you still go on tour.
Yeah. So basically, the used to be called the T. It's called the reserves now. It's like we basically attach onto a regular unit for operations. So they'll say, we want so many 4 para blokes to come on this operation or on that operation, and then we'll attach onto them for pre-deployment training and stuff like that. And then once you've done your pre-deployment training, then you're already integrated into the battalion by that point, and you go on operations. And then when you come back, you do your decompression sort of thing and all your post-operation medicals, and then you just go back your TE unit. So like, I've left regular service again now, and I'm on my leave, and then once my leave finishes, I'll just go back to 4 para. So
you're working as well?
I'm not now, I was, but someone stole our works van and had all my tools in, and so
sure.
But I was looking for an excuse to get off the tools anyway, so I'm going to go to college in September at Bede, and I'm going to do a personal training course, and I'm going to try and set up my own business.
Well, we'll be able to help you with funding for that.
Yeah, spot on.
If you want us to, no problem at all. Fucking hell, you deserve it, man. So, going from a regular to a reservist, what did the lads treat you like in the battalion? Because I just ask because I remember when I was in Berlin, one lad came, and basically he was just known as T.A. Ted. You know what I mean? He's one bloke out of hundreds, but people always just knew him as T.A. Ted.
I think going from regular to reserve, you're not really treated any different. As soon as I turned up before para, the lads were absolutely mega. Sometimes when you go from reserve to a regular unit, they sometimes think, they won't have a clue what they're doing or whatever. But as soon as they actually see that the blokes are good and they know what they're doing, then it's just like as if they were a regular soldier. I mean, we're always busy, always on exercise, or always on courses, so we're in all the time. Do you know what I mean? But
how much actual graft do you do with 4 para then? It's not every weekend, is it? Because you miss the match. Well, you miss the fucking match anyway. That's why you keep doing it.
It normally works out. You'll do 2 field exercises a month, and you'll be on your Tuesday nights.
And where is it?
I'm through Hebburn, so I'm in C Company. Used to be an anti-tank platoon, but we're just a rifle company now. But yeah, I'm through Hebburn. It's next to the fire. You know where the fire station is?
Oh yeah.
Aye. So our TA centre's right next door to there.
And to explain to people what you gone through on a Tuesday night. What happens?
Our training cycle will go in phases. So it might go patrols, ambushes, or fighting in built-up areas, or fighting in woods and forests. You'll go through a training cycle, and then you'll have your live fire package. So everything that you do on a Tuesday night will be role specific to what you've got coming up. So lads might be going on, I don't know, a heavy weapons course, so they'll be doing machine gun training. If you're doing patrols, you'll recap on patrol phases. If it's ambushes, you'll go through ambushes or vehicle checkpoints. It could be, or we always cover a lot of medical stuff as well, because it's something that you need to be quite on top of. Blokes go on radio courses, PTI courses. Can
you not get a PTI course?
Yeah, they were on about putting some of us through it, because we're getting a bit threadbare for PTIs at the moment. So I'm on my promotion course, I think, and my PTI course this year.
Oh, brilliant.
So,
do you get to do much fitness on it with them then?
Yeah, so the first part of your Tuesday night, some lads will rock up early or whatever, and we'll go and do a 5 mile run or 5 mile tab, or we'll do a P Company 2 miler, something like that. And then that'll be our phase ticked off for the night, and then we'll do the lesson side of it, and then after that we'll have a couple of drinks in the bar.
Oh, so how long are you there?
Yeah, about 2.5 hours. Something like that. Aye.
Is the bar really cheap?
£1 a drink.
Oh,
it's spot on.
I asked because I went to your centre down Dyton's Road. Me and Sam, who volunteers here, we went to 251 Squadron. I think it was called a march out. It was like a regimental dinner. It was all kind of weird and all. I liked to ruffle candles and all that. And they said, "Right, you going down the bar now?" And I got a bottle of bourbon and a double gin and something, and they were like, "Aye, 2 and something." And I was like, "No, I want that." And they were like, "No, that's it." No, it's go, what?
If you're not driving your car, you can end up upside down when you leave the bar.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Them prices, absolutely unbelievable.
That's brilliant.
So we stayed there till quite a bit, to be honest. But that was weird. So have you done many regimental dinners? Because I haven't. Because obviously I was only private when I was in, so I didn't do all that stuff. But
not really. I mean, we have our own functions, so we'll have a Halloween function, a Christmas function, or whatever. Summer we'll have a barbecue, and what we'll do is we'll get steaming in the bar, and then we'll end up in Newcastle. We'll just get a mini bus to Newcastle, and then we all just get upside down.
Well, you would be on quite a drink. Well, in there it was we couldn't. You couldn't sit down till everyone sat down, and you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that. You could only drink white wine with your meal. You couldn't have another drink from anywhere. Honestly, and they kept going, "You've done that wrong," not to me, or Sam doing it. "You've done that wrong, £5 fine." And then in the end, I think it was something like 185 quid they give me, and they said, "Oh, that's for Vicks." That was off the people. Oh, you spoke that wrong, you said that wrong, or something. It's £5 all the time.
I wouldn't know the table etiquette. Me, they'd have all these fancy things put out, and I'd be like, "Which one's me tablespoon? Which one's me?"
I'd be honest, me and Sam were both out of our depth. I mean, I know how to use a knife and fork, but we were a little bit out of our depth.
Yorkshire puns, I'd be picking them up with my fingers, mate.
It was a bit weird, But I mean, it was lovely for them to invite us and give us the money, and it was really good. It was a nice experience, but just a bit weird, weird. So, where do you see your future then? Away from the match.
Trying to keep myself out of mischief. I think I'll stay with 4-para if more operations came around, or especially kinetic operations. Then I'd probably go back regular. So I'll just see how it goes. Really, I mean, I'm quite content bouncing between having a social life and a military life. You know yourself, when you're regular, sometimes you have to cancel plans last minute, and it's a bit of a pain in the arse. You know, I mean, you can't really plan anything for the summer, like holidays and stuff, because if they turn around, they're like, "Yeah, you're doing this."
Your summer's gone in Afghan, mate. You're not going to Ibiza. Talking about that, so you've just been on tour, haven't you?
Aye.
I mean, did it say anything you know, like, thinking about, if you can talk about any of it?
Just been in Afghan for the last 3 months.
Aye.
And it was absolutely Baltic. Aye.
I was going to say, you haven't got much of a tan.
No. Everyone, when I come home, they were like, why aren't you brown? And like, I was like, it was snowing. It was like, some nights it was like -10. And they were like, what, you in the desert? And it's like, but they get really bad winters, do you know what I mean? It goes really quickly from one extreme to the other. I mean, when I first got out there in November, during the day you could cut around in a t-shirt. Come December, it was like, I had my Paris smock on, and I had like thermals on and everything, and I was like, this is so cold. This is so cold. But because they don't really have much wind, so you're not getting a wind chill, it's just
Freezing.
It's just freezing. But I woke up one day and I went to go out the room for the toilet, and there was about 1.5 foot of snow, and I was like, where did all this come from? Do you know what I mean? And then the snow was that bad sometimes that we couldn't even send the patrols out because we were doing mobile patrols. So sometimes we couldn't get the vehicles out. So it was sometimes there was a lot of downtime. So,
sometimes there's a lot of downtime.
It was a bit of a bummer spending Christmas out there.
Like, I was just going to say, next day, Christmas out there. Christmas and New Year.
Christmas and New Year. So I missed like birthdays, and I missed Christmas, I missed New Year.
These are the things that civvies don't take into consideration, do they? Like, you know, like I worked in the 5 years I was in the army. I only had 1 New Year off. I worked all the rest,
savage,
and not only was I just in there away from home, I actually fucking worked.
Aye.
No, I mean, in my last one, I was on the gate on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
You know.
I missed Holly's birthday. I missed my son's birthday. I missed Christmas, missed New Year, and I missed my birthday. And it's just like...
They picked that one for you, though, didn't they?
It didn't half, didn't they?
You missed the match, you know?
I missed the match, you know, aye. Like, some of the... Because we were, like, so many hours ahead, I'd stay up to watch a midweek game, and it was, like, 4 o'clock in the morning by the time I was getting to bed, and I was getting up in the morning, I had eyes like piss holes in the snow. I was like, what you been doing? I was like, I was up listening to the match last night. But,
closest you're going to get.
BFBS had a few of the games on, like...
Did they?
It was quite good, aye. So in the CAF and that...
What was the scran on that like?
It was good to start off with. It was fantastic because it's all you can eat and it's free, but it starts to become a bit repetitive after a while, and you're like, sometimes you're walking in, you were like, oh, it's the same thing. And
so what kind of same thing? Didn't we get steaks and all that?
No, so they had steaks, but they were absolutely charred, so it was like eating coal. They had, which was strange, catfish. Catfish. They would batter anything. Once I had battered...
Like the Scottish?
Yeah.
Wasn't it Scottish chef, was he?
I had battered cauliflower once.
Aye?
Yeah.
Was it nice?
No, it was awful. But there was like as much cake as you wanted. There was like fruit. All the important things like getting your veg and your carbs and stuff like potatoes, and they had like pizzas on all the time and stuff like that. So there was like pretty good food. It wasn't like it could be worse. We could have been living off rations like the Bloods were when they were doing Herrick. Do you know what I mean? So you got to like take the rough with the smooth. Then once we're living hard routine, and I was going back to a scoff house every night and eating like a king. Do you know what I mean? So it's swings and roundabouts, but.
3 months though, the same food all the time. It's you know what it's like when you're going all inclusive for 2 weeks.
That's what it was.
It's the same crack. First week it's brilliant. Then you tell, oh for fuck's sake, not again.
Would have been alright if we could have had a drink. That would have been the ideal.
So was it dry?
Proper dry. I weren't allowed a drink.
Not even 2 cans, no.
No. Oh. I think after about 8 weeks, I was like, all I would talk about was, I'd love to have a pint now. I'd love to have a pint.
Especially Christmas Day and New Year and that.
Christmas Day and New Year, we weren't even allowed like 1 bottle. It was just totally dry.
Why was that like? Because normally you're allowed a couple, aren't you?
I don't know if it was just because they were worried that...
Because you've been watching the football. Fuck, did I give him knee beer?
End up smashing the cap up. I think it was just in case anything, God forbid, did happen and blokes were pissed. There would be questions being asked, you know what I mean? Oh, but it is what it is. I mean, when I came home, I've made up for it.
Well, I mean, you know, it's good for you not drinking for a certain amount of months, you know. It's good for your body anyway.
Oh, but got my social life back on track now. So
good. Let's talk about your social life. Let's talk about it. So we've got Hacienda. I bet you've got stuff planned, have you?
Aye, got a few gigs planned. I'm doing that. This is Tomorrow Festival in Newcastle.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I've got Liam Gallagher in Heaton Park. I'm off to see Jerry Cinnamon in Manchester, which will be quite good. So,
I don't like him, because everyone was going saying how brilliant he was, right? And I think it was when we come back from, I think we got beat twice at Wembley, but I think it was the playoffs one. Me and my daughter, I took her, and when we come back on the train, everyone been going on about him, so both of us put him on Spotify, sitting like that, and fucking at the end we both, he's fucking shite. Proper shite. I thought he was going to be like, I actually thought he was going to be like the Oasis or Liam Gallagher or something like that. But it just sounded like an Irish folk song.
I think he's just been like a bit of fresh air on the music scene. 'Cause all this stuff like this, where it's some bloke who's just basically talking where he thinks he's rapping and then it's all computer generated, and I'm just like, I can't listen to like Capital and stuff like that. That would have me tearing my eyes out.
Oh, I'm at the age I listen to radio too, mate.
I had a bit of Smooth on earlier when I was out in the car.
Just cruising around with the Smooth on. Well, I've got 808 State.
Fantastic.
Going to see them in beginning of April, I think.
That'll be good.
And then I've got Pet Shop Boys at Newcastle.
Couple of my mates went to see them the last time they played in Newcastle.
Brilliant, they're really good.
Can't beat Pet Shop.
Yeah, this is a greatest hits thing as well, I think. I've got the Stone Valley Festival and what else? Kendall Calling.
That's meant.
And I've got Kasabian as well.
Oh yeah.
Down at Leicester.
That'd be fantastic.
They were on before. I think it was called Solstice or something like that.
Aye.
This is Solstice too. Really good live there, mate.
Home turf.
Kasabian's brilliant. Like,
I've seen them a couple of times. I've seen them when I went to see Oasis. And then I seen them. I was working down at Regent's Park Barracks for 2 weeks, believe it or not, and I had the iTunes festival on. So I went to the Roundhouse and I said, "Oh, can I get tickets for this gig?" And they were like, "You've got to get them through iTunes." And I said, "Oh, well, I'm not on iTunes." And they were like, "Well, the best thing you can do is come down, queue up, and we'll have 2 queues: people with tickets, people without." So I queued up in the queue without tickets, and after a while they'd let people in. The bloke came out, I was like, "No, no one's getting in. No one else is getting in." I was like, I'm not giving up that easy. So loads of people cleared off. A few of us still stuck around. And there was a couple behind us who had never seen them before. And I was like, if they come out and say people can get in, you just can go and see them. I said, I've already seen them. So anyway, they shuffled in front of me. And the bloke came out, he was like, I've got a few spare seats. So get yourselves in. And then I was the last person that got in. And the person behind me, that was like the end of the queue. I was like, yes.
Catch you later.
I missed like the first few songs, but... wasn't the end
it's
of
the world. It's a good gig, that the Roundhouse, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a nice venue.
I can't remember what I went to see. I've seen a few people there, but I think I won tickets to see somebody. I think it might have been at iTunes Festival. I think it might have been who does Born Slippy?
Underworld.
No, Underworld. I think it was Underworld.
Aye.
Underworld. I remember. Fucking hell, that was a mental gig, right? So do you like your music,
Aye, love it.
That's me as well. But it's football music, trainers, not, you know what I mean?
Standard, working class stuff, isn't it?
You know what I mean? This is the type of things that dreams are made of, you know? Well, when you came in the other day and Claire was like, fuck, didn't talk about his trainers, and you were like, well, what's my with that? Like, I'm the same.
I've got pairs of trainers in the loft that I've never seen for years. I've just got nowhere to put them.
There'll be a time when you think, tell you what, I need them trainers.
Yeah.
I have them piled up all over the place, all over the place.
Do you keep the boxes?
Oh, yeah.
I've got a few pairs that are missing the boxes now.
Oh, God, yeah, I've white. See, I buy them. This is how bad my addiction is. I buy them for my partner and my daughter if I can't buy ones for myself. So I'm constantly buying trainers. And my daughter and I make her keep them in the boxes. Obviously, I can't make her mum keep them in the boxes. So her trainers are all over. But both of them do that thing where they leave the laces tied and push them in, you know, so the back's gone down. And I'm like, what are you doing, man? You know, so people watch you and they'll think, you fucking mental, like, but to us
you've
too.
You've got to keep the shape of the trainer.
You know, you can't be, I just look at theirs, the tongue's out of one way, the back's all squashed down. And my daughter's got this habit, right, of where we're getting into the car to go to the caravan or go somewhere. So she'll just get in them and like tiptoe but smashing the back.
So she's just like,
I'm like, what are you doing?
Just got her toes in them and that's it.
I'll do it when I get in the car.
Should be doing a spacewalk to the car trying to keep them on their feet.
What are you doing, man? That's trainers. I mean, once I stopped smoking weed, the trainers kind of took over the kind of addiction part, I think.
Aye.
But it's a good thing because when I look at all the boxes I've got, I think to myself like, oh well, you know, I would have smoked that before and I would have had an out, you know what I mean? So it's a good thing. And I've said to Claire today downstairs that I wouldn't buy any in March, right?
You're lying to yourself.
Well, see,
what'll happen is a re-release or something will come out, and then you'd be like, you'd be straight on the internet like that, waiting for them to come out.
Well, I did a thing when I worked when I first met Joe. Actually, I think he'd left, and I didn't think this was a problem buying trainers because of the people I'm not around with. You know what I mean? So in this charity, they were like, "Yeah, you're addicted to trainers." You know what I mean? You're literally addicted to buying trainers. So I said, "All right, well, I won't buy trainers for 6 months, and I'll save all the money." Right, and then
I'll buy trainers when I've got all that bulk money.
The way it worked was that if, like, you know, when you get a size release, so I'll say, like, if I like them, if I'm definitely going to get them, I'll put that amount of money away. But then if I see a pair that's in the sale, I'll put that money away as well. So anyway, 6 months, didn't buy any, pot of money, grand. Spent $1,000 on fucking trainers straight away. I told you I wasn't addicted.
It's got to be done.
Right, $1,000 on trainers because I've missed that 6 months.
Got a pair of red kickers off me dad. He didn't really like the way they felt when he was wearing them, and I was like, you know, when he had them on his feet a couple of times, I was like, I'll have them, like proper rave kick, you know what I mean? Like, they were mint. And trainers is just
it's a staple of a decent life, man.
It is.
Decent trainers, you know. Adidas trainers.
You can look at a bloke and go, look at his trainers and go,
you could talk to him. You know what I mean? If you stand at the bar and you look down and you see them Air Max, now the ones with the things, and you're going, I'm not talking to him, like.
You see someone with a pair of trim trabs on or something like that, or a pair of Diodora Borgs.
Yeah, you've got something in common straight away, haven't you?
That's it.
See, people, I don't know, people they just didn't realise.
But it works from the bottom up, so you'll have a good pair of trainers and then probably a good pair of jeans, half decent jacket.
You're gonna have a nice jacket on. If you got decent trainers, you're gonna have a nice jacket on it. You know, people, and I tell you what I did with the Vicks t-shirts, because obviously, us being from Sunderland, I wouldn't buy something that said Newcastle underneath or another city. So I had an idea, and I've got loads of t-shirts made for myself without Sunderland and whatever trainers I've got on underneath. So I've did the colourway of my trainers, and then I did ZX whatever and stuff underneath for myself.
Quality.
And then I came in here the other day with it on, and one of the clients went, "Is that your postcode?" I was like, "Fucking ZX. Where do you think I live?" You know what I mean?
Zimbabwe.
ZX 500. Fucking Zimbabwe, mate. Nice one.
It's a long way to send me mail.
Right. So what are you doing for the rest of the weekend then, mate?
So I'm getting a train early doors tomorrow at Manchester.
Oh, Manchester, I forgot.
Me and my mate John.
That's going to end up messy, that life.
Aye.
You're not working Monday, are you?
No. Do
you want me to be on suicide watch?
If I'm out,
you've got me card, haven't you?
If I'm out like I was last Sunday, I was rough as toast. Oh God, it was horrendous.
Well, you've got me card. If it gone bad, right? Phone is Monday though.
Sure, I need to come in for a cuppa. I'm rough as fuck.
I'll come and pick you up.
But then after that, I've got Manchester this weekend, and I've got Blackpool with the lads the weekend after, and we've got a battle bus going down, so that'll be a good trip out.
I would have been gone on that myself, but I've got the first class promotions. A guy called Johnny Hayes has put Tony Bellew talking for us. So we're doing this thing at the minute, and it's a hashtag Veterans Helping Veterans, and it's all about us trying to raise 15 grand on a crowdfunding thing from Aviva.
Yeah.
We need to buy this building because it's up for sale. And there's no way I'm not buying it. So the 15 grand, if we can raise that in, I think it's April the 22nd, if we can do it by then, it's 8 weeks. Aviva will give us money as well. Now put them together, and then we'd have a canny deposit to put down. We've been going 3 days, I think, and we're 30%.
Oh yeah.
30% now,
That's
and that's
fantastic.
3 days, you know. Now because we had to go into a competition. There was hundreds of people went in for this competition to win this chance to do this Aviva thing, and I think we were one of 10. And when we spoke to the people, they were like, right, well, the most anyone's ever raised is $5,000. I would stick at $5,000. Now, $5,000's great, but $5,000's not going to make a deposit on a fucking building, you know what I mean? So we were like, well, we'll say 15. They were like, you'll never get 15. And they were like, if you didn't get 15, you didn't get any money, mind. And we were like, nah, we'll get 15. Like. So hopefully,
I think
if I was religious, I would pray to God for it. Like
the impact you've made on the community as a team, I think you stand a very good chance of.
Well, I hope so. You know, I hope so. I mean, the idea of when I made it, this whole thing was for the community and it was for people in Sunderland, and now it's getting recognised nationally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what my dream would be is if people looked at Vic's in Sunderland and said that's the way it should be all over the country. Yeah. That's the way people should look after the veterans.
Well, when I came in on Tuesday to the Gunners for the tea and scoff and that, I was like, there's so many people. Many people, and they were all spot on, and I had a right good chat with everyone, and I felt at home straight away. So it's
nice,
it's no surprise that when people get on board with the scheme and you're helping them out, that once they start interacting with all the other lads and lasses that's like sort of under your umbrella, that they all become a bit of a family. Do you know what I mean? Because I'd only been there an hour and a half, something like that, 2 hours, whatever that it runs for. And I was like, it was amazing. Many different people.
I mean, if you think like you felt like that, but you've got friends and you've got a social life and whatever, and you're still in. If you're a person that comes to that and you've had nobody to talk to for months, being socially isolated, you imagine what they feel like.
That'd be total morale. Because you're connecting like that with people who understand you. Do you know what I mean? And I think sometimes when it comes to like helping veterans, the civilian facilities who try and help veterans, I sort of understand it to a degree, but I think it takes sometimes a veteran to understand another veteran, because sometimes you've got to like walk in them boots to understand, you know, what they've went through in their life. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's why we only employ people from Sunderland, but if you work with the clients, you have to have been a client before, other than me. You know, and I've had my own problems, so you have to. So in that case, there's no ever possibility of the client saying to the worker, "You don't know what I feel like," because that person's done exactly the same.
Yeah.
And it also sort of gives them something to aim towards, so they can be the volunteer.
Yeah.
And then hopefully get into work. You know, and I would like to employ them all. You know.
Yeah.
Once I buy the building, that'd be the next thing.
To be honest, like you said, so when you first started, you were meeting people in like Greg's and stuff.
I know, that's right. That was my office.
To think where you've sorry, that wine. So where you've came from to where you've got to now is just in such a short space of time.
It's amazing. That's why whatever happens, like I'll be buying this building. I don't want to have to get a mortgage, because that means every month money that's coming in to help veterans get houses or whatever has gone into the mortgage, and like that sort of defeats the object. You know what I mean? And I don't. £120,000 more money than I've ever seen in my life, but for a city this size, it isn't very much.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for the ratio of people, if everyone give 50 pence.
Thing is, as well, it's like the era of operations that has went on recently. So you think early 2000s you had Optelic, and then it went into Herrick, which were both really like kinetic operations, and the amount of people that are requiring help now in this modern era, the number of people that you're going to be helping and your team is going to be helping is only going to swell. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's it.
Because there's probably so many people sitting at home with issues that feel that they can't talk about, which they should, and they can talk about. It's eventually, as they see more and more doors opening, people's going to start coming in, even from Sunderland. They're not just nationwide, but from Sunderland itself. Do you know what I mean? So what you provide for people is going to be more of need. Do you know what I mean?
This, for instance, the idea is people who are socially isolated watch this, and then they'll think, "Well, I didn't realise other people felt like that." Now, I've actually had that happen with a few people who've actually come into the Gunners because of watching this and said, like, I thought it was the only one.
Well, even the taxi driver at night says, "Oh, where am I taking you?" I says, "I'm going over to Roker next to the Tesco's and that," and he says, "Oh, what you doing tonight?" I says, "Oh, I'm going to do a podcast with my mate who runs Veterans in Crisis," And so he was asking about it, and I was explaining about the Veterans Helping Veterans thing as well, and how you were trying to raise the money for the venue and stuff like that. And he was like, I never knew. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so hopefully he could, he might pick some up in his taxi.
I was going to say, if he tells people,
a squaddy, or even just word of mouth, even if it's a civvy. So you might mention it to a civvy, and a civvy might have a family member who needs the help. It travels, doesn't it? Do you know
it's
what I
great.
mean?
It's great, mate. We've actually had taxi drivers tell people and like bring them here. You know, and people in Sunderland are so willing to help other people. You know, I don't know if it's like that in the rest of the country. Obviously, because I'm not from there, and
I think it's just a northern mentality.
Well, this is the thing with when I've been asked to run this out elsewhere. I don't even know if it would work elsewhere, because this is sort of our area and our people, and you know, the way we talk and the way we are with people, and how people are so kind.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it would work in other areas. Possibly it would, but I don't know.
I think it would. But like you say, to have a connection with your people, you might have to be from that area. So if it did work, it might mean that you opened a branch up in the Midlands or somewhere, or down south, but it might take like veterans in that community to run that branch for you.
That would be
connect with them.
I've got no thing of wanting to be the head of a massive thing, like, so in my mind it would be franchising it, me showing them what to do, and then it would only be people who are from whatever area. So for instance, the Midlands, if they were from the Midlands, they work there. They only help people in the Midlands. Same in London. I mean, London would be a bit hard, but
because it's a little bit like a home when you speak to someone from your area, like a Mackham coming in here and being a Mackham, it's like you just have that connection straight away.
Well, it's it.
But like it could be someone from
up the road.
I don't know, like up the road. No Geordies allowed. No, shouldn't say that.
No, you didn't say that.
No, but if you had someone from, say, even as close as Yorkshire, might not feel the same as how someone from Sunderland would feel coming into this environment. Do you know what I mean? They might need to stay in their area to feel like it's beneficial.
Well, I think people looking after their own is a massive positive anyway.
Well, I mean,
you know?
it'd be beneficial even if they did come from an outside area, but like you say, the connection of having that with someone else from the area, you have the same, like you say, you have the same banter. So
you have the same outlook on life, I think. Well, I think you do.
Yeah.
Right, mate. Thank you very much for coming in.
Not a problem.
Have you enjoyed it?
Fantastic.
Have you enjoyed it?
Really enjoyed it.
Well, when you get all the lads to watch it, but also to subscribe. Cost now, you just press the button.
Yep.
Show them out. Joel will show you if you don't know.
Spot on.
And it's on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube.
Happy days.
Happy days.
Mega.
Right, thank you very much,
Not
man.
a problem.
So before we go, so at the end we normally have a song record. So who would you like? And we're not putting Jeremy Cinnamon on. What about somebody from the Hacienda?
I don't know. A song that's quite.
It's going to be Jerry Cinnamon.
A song that's quite personal to me. It'd probably be "Summer" by Cortinas.
Right, nice one. Well, we'll get that one.
That's a tune for
We'll get that one done.
That listens.
Oh, and do you want to before we go on, do you want to advertise your fight for Cuthy's thing? Right, so get an advertisement out for that.
So I'm fighting on the Sunday, the 3rd of May, at the Lancashire Suite. Used to be the Federation Breweries.
Yeah, I know what that is.
So it's a kickboxing and a Muay Thai event, and it's Para Reg versus Royal Navy. I think I'm fighting a lad from 2 Para. So yeah, I think the tickets are about £20.
And how can they get them?
If they want to get in touch with me, I can get them for them, or if they speak to me mate, Dave Corrigan, he's on Facebook under U-Drink Apparatus, which is the Reg's motto. So they'll be able to get them through there, or Tom or Carla Cuthbertson will probably be able to point them in their direction as well.
Right, so on Facebook, Tom or Carla Cuthbertson.
Yeah. And
it's about 20 quid.
Yeah.
3rd of May?
3rd of May.
Well, I'm sure I'll see you before then, but don't get that.
I'll try not to get me extra.
Right, nice one, mate. Thanks very much. Cheers, pal. Yeah. Enjoy that.